Hi guys. The war in Iran is still going, and I was just listening to this Professor Kwan. I think he teaches somewhere in U.S. I'm not sure which state. And some of the things he said is very interesting. If you say, he said Iran, every time Iran shoot one missiles into Israel or American bases or embassies or whatnot, United States will shoot 11 or 12 anti missiles, and you're looking in the millions. You're looking at 33 million, you know, and just to stop one missile. Okay, so the cost of one missile is way cheaper than than 11 missiles, you know. And yeah, it's like if you do the math, Iran is winning now, even though the war has not ended. Iran is winning by the number of missiles being shot into these locations or whatnot. Yeah, you know, in my head I'm giggling, you know, because I'm really enjoying this to see United States and Israel lose for unprovoked war. What they doing to, you know, Iranian, they're gonna learn. And he said he said they've been preparing for this war for over 20 years. Over 20 years. They got all their, you know, all their guards in position, all the missiles and all their weaponry in place. They've been working on the ground preparing for this war, you know. And that's why I love it, you know. They work in secret, you know. They've perfected their craft. They perfected their craft, and yeah, they perfected their craft in how to deal with war. Again, is, you know, he said also the war on what you call it, the war with Israel. He said the war against Satan. Islamic Republic of Iran said the war against Israel is the war against Satan. Yeah, Professor Kwan, I'm gonna see if I can link you the video. You guys you can listen to him explain what I just said. Isn't it that what I've been talking about for 12 years? The war, we are fighting Satan. The 144,000 are fighting Satan, you know? And they told me about this war coming to Iran 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, almost 2 weeks, they told me in a dream about this war coming, and they mentioned Iran by name. And if you look at the videos I talked about, I do not care, and I mentioned Iran a couple of times. Why would they tell me about this in a dream state about Iran or whatnot? If you look at, you do the math, you look at over 2 weeks almost that had told me about this war before it came. You know, it seemed like they thought they can intimidate me. Oh, because we're gonna take out Iran, we're gonna do this to these two people. In reality, what they're trying to tell you, they're trying to say, you know, we're gonna do this to the 144,000 as well. That was their main objective. You understand? You don't know how this enemy operates, and these people are serving them. They know they are fighting. Do they know the people working for them? They're fighting against God. Yeah, true. You're serving Satan. But anyhow, Wow, you telling me? You know what? They have really fascination with wars. They have this great fascination with wars and destruction and all of that. Guess what? 144,000, we love wars. I do love war. I don't know, I'm speaking for myself. I do love wars, you know? And I know how to tactic work. I am just say, currently I'm in the human form. God did not really activate our divinity, our power. Just last week, I watched this guy who was talking about why the 144,000 powers are not activated, because they said they don't want it to be misused. You understand? They don't want us to go and destroy things. They want to teach us. God. I'm saying speaking for God, but God always refers to Himself as they, because God is the King of all kings, right? And so when He speaks about Himself, He always speaking as us, because it's mean like you're elevating God into higher being. You cannot just refer to Him as, you know. So anyhow, that why before I couldn't understand why would God always says we. He always says we, us, and always speaking like in a bunch of people, right? Because apparently this is the way it is. Because in the Holy Quran, God always referred to Himself as we, you know, because we, that means exalts God to a higher level. You understand? Not we, they, not that, what they use, you know, in that community, they, whatever. But anyhow, how could be they and one person, But, and sorry. So anyhow, that was going on, and so they're telling me, they have this fascination with wars. I do have fascination. I do have fascination with wars too. Trust me. You know, and I'm not gonna play in your, in your team. I'm not gonna serve Satan. Satan is a humanity enemy. God said it in the Holy Quran. He says, and He said His nation أشد عداوة لو كنتم تعلمون. You understand what it means? أشد عداوة لو كنتم تعلمون. He says these people are wicked doers. They are your enemy if you only knew. They are worse than any other enemy. So why would God refer to them as the worst enemy you could have? Okay? Isn't it? He says the worst enemy that these people are put in place than any other enemy. Why would God refer to them like that? Because He knows, He knows the Zionist Jews are the Jews in general, the fake Jews. Not all Jews are horrible, but hey, you know what I'm talking about. They are the worst. Okay? In the whole Quran, I'm going to find you the verse what He said. God says, أَشَدُّ عَدَاوَةً لَوْ كُنتُمْ تَعْلَمُونَ. He says they are your enemy and they will target you if you only knew how hateful in their heart is. Their being is made up of hate. Their intention towards humanity is not very good. Anyhow, that's what I'm talking to. That's what I'm telling you. Yeah. To be continued.